What's going on, guys? I'm your host from the East Coast, Gina Man 94, here to bring you guys my WWE Elimination Chamber 2017 review. Holy crap, did we get an awesome show tonight. And of course, it was the Smackdown brand bringing us the awesome show. So I just want to talk about the pay-per-view as a whole for a minute. Like I said, I thought it was great. I thought majority of the matches were awesome. The storytelling that was displayed here tonight, and even just like from a wrestling standpoint, we got some good wrestling matches. And the Elimination Chamber match itself, it wasn't the most brutal Elimination Chamber, but it still, was a crazy match with 6 guys who are just at the top of their game right now and just keep on improving every single week, who went out there and gave it everything that they had. And we have a new WWE champion. But before we can talk about that, we're going to talk about the rest of the matches. I didn't watch the pre-show because fuck the pre-show. So that's just how that is. But I did watch the full show in its entirety, and we had 3 women's matches tonight as well. And I'm going to talk about the very last one in a little bit. I'm going to go from top to bottom of how the matches appeared on the show, and we're just going to review the whole show. So let's get into it. So the first match we had was Becky Lynch and Mickie James. Becky Lynch looking for revenge all summer 16. Shout out to Drake. From getting screwed out of her championship steel cage match against Alexa Bliss on Smackdown a couple weeks back. Mickie James is on the road to resurrecting her career, or pretty much just putting the women's division on notice that she's the one to mess with. She's the one who, pretty much put the women's division on the map. She beat Trish Stratus back in the day. She's been the one who's, a 6-time champion? 5 or 6-time champion. Just trying to make a statement that she's the one responsible for women's wrestling being the way it is today. That it wouldn't be no Charlotte or Sasha or Bayley or Becky Lynch without Mickie James. So, 7 years away from WWE, coming back to prove all of that. The match started off with them trying to out-wrestle each other. I like how they had the collar and elbow tie-up. It was so fierce that they had it locked in till they got to the outside of the ring. And they were, just trying to outmaneuver each other. Both were working body parts pretty well and trying to prove who was the better wrestler of the two. Mickie, of course, had the experience over Becky, but Becky isn't too bad herself. Commentary was putting over the fact that Mickie wants Becky to give her props for, how her career is gone. Because like I said, if Mickie said that if it wasn't for her, the women's division wouldn't be the way it is. There would be no Becky Lynch if it wasn't for Mickie James. Mickie James has paved the way for these women to be able to go out there and main event shows and be in Hell in a Cell matches and steel cage matches and, just be able to have the opportunities that they have. But we did have a pretty good amount of a technical wrestling in this match. Wasn't a ton of high flying. Hell of a back and forth towards the end of the match as well. Bunch of counters, which led to Becky going for the disarmer. Mickie countered her into a pin, which Becky flipped out of and laid on top of Mickie James and was able to get the pin off of her. Great win for her against the future Hall of Famer, and that just adds to Becky Lynch's credibility. And she was able to get a little bit of revenge, considering she lost her women's championship because Mickie James interfered in the match. So we had a pretty good match to kick off the show. I didn't really care for the crowd. I think they were in Phoenix. The crowd did this show no justice. I'm sorry, they didn't. The crowd was kind of whack. They were kind of dead. They popped for a few things that happened, but for the most part, you could barely tell they were there. So I think that kind of took away from the show a little bit. But nonetheless, we did have a good wrestling match. So next match we had, and I love what they did here. I love what Dolph did in this match. We had a 2-on-1 handicap match. Apollo Crews and Kalisto versus Dolph Ziggler. Now, the story of this. Dolph Ziggler turned on Kalisto. He's been feuding with him. Pretty much just hitting him with chairs every single week. Apollo Crews been coming to his defense to no avail. And, Ziggler's just been getting one up on them, for the past couple of weeks. So, Apollo Crews makes his entrance. He comes out first. And then as Kalisto's making his entrance, Dolph Ziggler comes up from behind him out of nowhere and throws him into the video board behind him. Pretty much taking him out of the match, making it a 1-on-1. And then Apollo is just looking like, really? You really did this again? You really got one up on us again? And Apollo Crews, he came out there smiling. He went to check on Kalisto. He turned around and looked at Ziggler, who, went through the crowd to get to the ring and was just in the ring smiling like, yeah, I did that. I got one up on you again. Apollo's smile just quickly turned and faded away, and he just started walking towards the ring like he was about to kill this man, Ziggler. And it led to it just being a one-on-one match for a little bit. Crews was furious, man. He went on a relentless attack against Ziggler, and pretty much just started beating the crap out of him in the beginning. But of course, Ziggler started, wrestling him a little bit. And, they were having a pretty good match. And, just the fact that Kalisto was taken out of it, you would have thought that Ziggler would have won. But later on in the match, Kalisto found his way back into the match. He limped back to the ring to give Apollo a breather and give him a hand so that they can win the match. So Apollo tagged him in, and, Kalisto went for like the Salida del Sol. Ziggler countered that. Like I said, he gave Apollo a little bit of a breather, so Apollo was able to get back in. Then they used some double team moves, which led to Apollo hitting Ziggler with the spin out, set out power bomb, and they were able to pick up the win. So they finally got the win over Ziggler, and it seemed like they were, doing well. Things were going good for them until after the match, when they were celebrating and not keeping an eye on Ziggler, who had been doing whatever he could to take them out. So Ziggler, Kalisto was just on the apron on the outside or whatever, and, Ziggler knocked him off of it. He knocked him off of it and then grabbed a steel chair and threw it in the ring. By this time, Apollo Crews is outside of the ring running towards him. So Ziggler went around the ring, got into the ring, and grabbed a steel chair and hit him with it. Then I think he hit Kalisto with the chair or whatever, and, pretty much went back onto his chair hitting ways, and he took out Kalisto. Kalisto was gone. You didn't see him anymore. And then what he did with the chair, he took it one step further and wrapped the chair around Apollo Crews' ankle and stomped on it. And he sold it well, and he's just screaming like his ankle was broken or whatever. But Ziggler did not stop there. He did it not once, but twice. He took the chair one more time and stomped on it on his ankle once again. The referees were begging him to stop, and he was just pretty much he didn't care that they were there. He was just going to do it anyway. Apollo Crews yelling on the ground. Kalisto was incapacitated somewhere. Fuck Kalisto. Who cares? But it was supposed to be great heel heat for Ziggler, and you would think that would be some good heel heat. But the fact that the crowd doesn't care about Apollo Crews or Kalisto means that they cheered for Ziggler. And they were even saying, "Thank you, Ziggler," as if Apollo Crews had done something wrong to the fans. They love a good heel, I guess. I guess that's just the way it is nowadays. It's no longer, the heels get booed and the faces get cheered. Like, they wanted Ziggler to turn heel so they could cheer for him, which doesn't really make sense in the long run, but I understand it in a way, because I've always loved Dolph Ziggler, whether he's, a face or a heel. It didn't really matter what he did to me. I was always a fan. He's from Cleveland, so, I'm always a fan of him and The Miz, so it didn't really matter to me. But, just the fact that he's heel now and he's got this new attitude about himself and just using chairs and stuff to do whatever and to take people out, people love it now. They love it. They haven't seen this side of him in a long time, and they popped. So there's nothing more you can really say about that. After that, we got Tag Team Turmoil for the WWE Smackdown Live Tag Team Championships. Heath Slater and Rhino versus Breezango versus American Alpha, who were the champions, versus the Usos versus the Acension, and versus the Vaudevillans. Who did you really think was going to win this match? I mean, if anybody was going to win it, I would have said the Usos, if not, the champions. But other than that, who really had a legitimate chance to win this match? I just really want to know. Did you think the Ascension was going to win? I look like at the end of the match, I'm looking at it like there's no way they're going to give the Ascension the win in this match. And I'll explain, why that was said and why they actually had a chance to win. But let's just get into this, because I got a little mini rant on the Ascension. So Heath Slater and Rhino started off with Breezango. Tag Team Turmoil. 2 teams start. After one is eliminated, another team will enter the match. Heath, Slater, and Rhino pretty much ran through Breezango. No surprise there. And I mean that literally, Rhino gored one of them. The Vaudevillans were the next team to enter the match. They immediately tried to take Rhino out of the match, throwing him into the barricade so they could go after Heath Slater and double team him. But Rhino was able to recover, get back into the ring, and run them over as well with another gore on, I think, Simon Gotch. And Heath hit his finisher, which was, I think that shot DDT or whatever it is. And they were able to eliminate the Vaudevillans. After that, the Usos came out. They were the next team to enter the match. And they were able to take out Heath Slater and Rhino, who were obviously gassed. They were tired. There was no hope of them surviving any longer. So they took them out easily. Then the tag team champions entered the match, American Alpha, and there was no love lost from their rivalry with the Usos last year. American Alpha was making their entrance, and the Usos got out of the ring so that they could go right to American Alpha and they could start fighting. Because if you remember, the Usos took out Chad Gable, a few months ago before they were supposed to get their first tag team championship match. And when they were having that tournament, when the draft first happened. They did that last year. And, they still haven't forgot about that. And neither have the Usos, apparently. So, they went after each other. Had a nice little match here. They started working on Gable again like they normally do. Keeping him away from the hot tag, which was Jason Jordan, who eventually did get into the match off the hot tag that got no pop. Like I said, this crowd was horrible. He didn't get a pop from his hot tag. The crowd did not care about American Alpha whatsoever. They winded up in an electric chair spot, but Chad Gable, who was on top of one of the Usos, had tagged in Jason Jordan. Jimmy Uso went for the pin. And I think Jordan off of the counter broke it up or something like that. But Gable grabbed one of the Usos, hit him with a roll up. They rolled one of them up or something like that. I don't remember which one. And the Usos are eliminated from the match. And then I'm just like, okay, now it's looking like they're not going to lose their titles. I didn't really see a legitimate threat after the Usos. So after that, the Usos, who were eliminated, didn't care. They attacked the tag team champions from behind and started kicking their asses. They threw Jason Jordan to barricades and the steel steps. I think they hit him with a splash from off the top rope. And then they, took out Gable as well, hit him with a splash. And they were pretty much just easy pickings for the last team, which was the Ascension. The Ascension. Did I talk about the Vaudevillans? I think I talked about, they were out of there. So the Ascension was the last team to come in. And I'm like, it's easy pickings for these guys. Like, literally, you pick up one of them and hit your finisher, which is what they did. They picked up Jason Jordan, hit him with the Fall of Man, and almost got the 3 count, but they took too damn long. They walked to the ring as if they didn't see what had just happened, as if they didn't know that the tag team champions, with no other teams left in this damn turmoil match, were just not laid out in the middle of the ring for them to just run in and pin them. They took their time. They bumped into the Usos as the Usos are leaving after they, finally got them off of the tag champions. And, they're just slow walking to the ring. They got their mask on, their t-shirts. They're just, we're the Ascension. Like, I would have ran into that ring and pinned them. No. They get in there. They finally hit the Fall of Man on one of them. But Chad Gable, like I said, they took so long. Gable broke up the pinfall. And then the Ascension started fucking up. They let American Alpha back into the match. Jason Jordan was able to pull off a belly-to-belly, tagging Chad Gable. Connor knocked him off of the apron, but he countered it. And they were able to get into the ring. And then I think they hit the Grand Amplitude on Victor and picked up the victory. And retained their tag team championships. I'm like, this pretty much sums up the Ascension's main roster run into one match. And I've said it before, they've been buried ever since that night that the APA and the New Age Outlaws buried them on Raw. I didn't want them to win the match, but this was probably the easiest win they ever could have had, considering they don't get a lot of wins as it is. But this match right here, if they were going to win a match, this would have been it. The Usos literally alley-ooped them the win, and they went out there and missed. They botched it. They missed the layup or whatever. And I'm just like, really? Really? Yo, how do y'all mess up a free win? American Alpha was done for. They had been attacked by the Usos once again, who didn't take it lightly on them, and they could have had the... I'm done. I'm done talking about the Ascension. I'm done with the Ascension. I used to be fans of them in NXT. No more. Nope, I don't care about them any longer. I don't think they've won 5 matches since being on the main roster, including their enhancement matches. So I don't care about the Ascension anymore. I don't care. Don't build them up. Don't do nothing. Just let them be jobbers for their whole career. Screw it. It doesn't even matter anymore. So, I sound very angry, even though I'm happy American Alpha won. So let's talk about the second women's match of the night. Or, no, wait. Was this the first? No, this was the second. Natalya and Nikki Bella. This rivalry right here is one of the best that's going on in the WWE today. Natalya was the one who sneak attacked Nikki Bella at Survivor Series because she said she had everything in the WWE handed to her because of her looks and because John Cena is her boyfriend. So she's gotten all the opportunities that Natalya should have gotten because Natalya is wrestling royalty. She should have been handed these opportunities instead of Nikki Bella. So these two have been attacking each other and literally brawling all over on SmackDown Live. Outside the arena, backstage, near the concession stands, and even on Talking Smack this past week. So, you could just feel the bad blood. The promos they've been cutting on each other have just felt like they were real, like they were shoot interviews, which is a lost form in the WWE of something feeling real. Like, it felt like they had backstage heat with each other and they were portraying it on SmackDown. So this was a great rivalry. So, the match started. Natalya came out immediately trying to go after Nikki's her neck, which is, the thing that she came back from, her injury that almost ended her career. Came back from that, so of course Natalya is going to try to pick at that weak spot. She kept trying to tell her that she's the wrestler and she was just trying to out-wrestle her, and pretty much that's what she was doing. Then when Nikki started coming back, they started fighting outside the ring. I think Nikki hit like a flying clothesline from the apron. Natty wanted a timeout after that, but she just used it to get an advantage over Nikki Bella. She had a ton of fan interaction. She was just like taunting the crowd for a majority of the match and was doing the John Cena "you can't see me" gesture to everybody. And Natalya even spotted Nikki Bella's family, who was on the outside of the ring in the front row, and she was taunting at them like, "you guys can't see me," and just doing the most, the absolute most. That's when Nikki was able to make her comeback. Very physical match. Nikki Bella sold for about 85% of this match to Natalya. Natalya pretty much was working her over, other than their little brawl spots and, they're just a little back and forth. Natalya put her into the sharpshooter, and she countered that into the STF that Cena does, and I was just like, oh crap, she's using Cena's moves now. The match spilled to the outside. I think they had like a superplex spot at one point or the other. Neither one of them could get the win. Like I said, the match spilled to the outside where Natalya rammed her into the barricade. Nikki got up, threw her into the barricade, and they were just, fighting on the outside, not really paying attention to the referee's 10 count. And then when Nikki Bella realized that the match was about to be over with a double count out, she tried to run to the ring, but Natalya stopped her, threw her into the barricade once again, and the match ended in a double count out. And I'm just like, oh man, you would think that this match would have had a finish or something like that. Even if Natalya went over, like, you would have thought that after all the brawls that they do, they would have ended the match legitimately. It would have made more sense to do it that way. The count out doesn't really do anything because they've been fighting all over. So, I mean, I guess their rivalry is going to continue. But, I mean, you could have did the dirty pin finish with Natalya or something. She could have, cheated her way to a victory. Something like that. That could have continued the storyline. But just a double countout doesn't really help either one of them in this case. It doesn't give Nikki Bella an obstacle to get through. And it doesn't give any heat for Natalya. So, I was kind of bittersweet on this match a little bit. But yeah, so the double count all happened. Nikki Bella was just, complaining to the ref about it. Like, what the heck? Like, oh man, I can't believe this happened. Natalya attacked her again and then started walking up the ramp. Nikki Bella recovered, got up, ran out the ring, and then speared Natalya. I was just like, oh snap. She ran up that ramp and speared her. and, started, punching her in the face or whatever. The referees had to pull them off of each other again, and Natalya ran away. And that was pretty much all from that. So, like I said, I guess the rivalry is far from over, but I feel like they could have did the finish a little bit better. They could have still did that exact same thing at the end with Nikki Bella spearing her if Natalya would have cheated to win. Like, she pulled on her tights or used the ropes and the ref didn't see it and got away with a dirty victory or whatever. And that's when Nikki Bella could have chased her down. You could have did the same thing, but you did the double count on. I just don't agree with it. It just didn't do anything for me. Kind of took away from the match that I already thought was a pretty good match, but that kind of just took away from it. Didn't really make it as good as it could have been. But that's okay. They can make up for it with the next match, I guess. We had a small little 15-second promo from Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. Randy Orton was standing next to Bray. He said that in order for them to be successful tonight, they must go their separate ways, but in the end, they'll be stronger. And welcome to the era of Wyatt. That was a pretty cool little promo. And on my notes, it says Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt. Not yet, but it's Randy Orton versus Luke Harper. This is one of the two matches that has been brewing since Randy Orton turned on Kane and joined the Wyatt family after not being able to get one up on them. Bray said that, he knew Randy was a snake and, all these other traits and whatever that made him crazy as the voices, and he was very dangerous. But with that being said, and with those credentials, he welcomed him into the Wyatt family. You could tell there was tension from Orton and Harper from the very, very beginning. Even the nice little vignette that they showed building up this match he was having with Luke Harper, it just showed that every time the Wyatts had a little promo segment or, they did anything, even winning the tag team championships, Luke Harper was always looking at Randy Orton because he didn't trust him. He knew what was up from the beginning, and look what was happening now. This match, other than the Elimination Chamber, it turned out to be the best match of the night. The best match of the night. And that's not even a joke. I'm not even, overstating it. I'm not even overrating this match. This was the best match of the night, other than the Elimination Chamber match, which I'm going to exclude because that match was going to be good either way. But, this was a hell of a match. Even just like the vignette that they did leading up to this of how, Luke Harper knew what was going to happen and how he pretty much took Luke Harper away from the Wyatt family. And, after Bray set up the match between them on Smackdown and Luke Harper lost it. And, Luke Harper thought everything was fine. Bray Wyatt picked him up. Then he hit the Sister Abigail of him, essentially kicking him out of the Wyatt family. So, Luke Harper pretty much lost everything. So now he's going to try to go after Randy Orton. He said not only did he want to beat Randy Orton at Elimination Chamber, but he wanted to hurt him. Literally hurt him because of what he did. And, Luke Harper knew this was coming from the very beginning, but there was nothing he could really do to stop it. So we have this match. The match was great. They both got good offense in for the whole match. You could tell they didn't like each other. The funny thing is that Randy Orton, was posing every time he got one of his moves in. Even though he's the veteran in this match, this was no easy match for him by any standards. A man who had nothing left to lose because he lost everything, giving his all, and trying to prove he can hang with somebody the likes of Orton, a former world champion, maybe a future world champion because he has a main event opportunity at Mania because he won the Royal Rumble. I just love Harper because this man can work. He's a big guy, but he's agile and quick in his movements. Like, some of the moves that Eddie Guerrero would make, he's doing them. Like, Eddie used to do that move from the apron. I don't know what it's called. I think it's just like a flipping senton. That's a very athletic move, and Luke Harper did that in this match. Just something you wouldn't expect a guy his size to do. He's like 6'3", 6'4", if not taller. But just a guy that size, and, he's not no little guy. You wouldn't expect him to do a move that a cruiserweight would be doing. But, they were both going at each other, and they both body dropped each other onto the announce table, and Randy hit that power slam on the outside, that quick one that he always hits, that little snap that he always hits. He hit that on the outside, which hurts a hell of a lot more than if he did it in the ring. Man, this was just a damn fight, man. Both guys just trying to inflict as much pain as they possibly can onto each other. And, you know, they were just doing just that. Randy was feeling it, though. He felt that he was in the driver's seat to win the match. He had that little DDT that he hits. I think he hit that from the top rope. The same way he did Cena on SmackDown. He went to set up for an RKO, but Harper super kicked him. Then he super kicked him again. Went for the pinfall, only got a 2 count. Even went as far as to hit a sit-out powerbomb, only got a 2 count. The crowd was really loving this match. They were really starting to feel it then. This is when they started to come alive a little bit. They weren't really loving anything else, though. Both guys were just exchanging blows with each other, and Harper was hitting this man with everything that he had. And then he tried for a discus clothesline to end the match off, but it got countered with an RKO, and Randy Orton picked up the victory. And, you know, like I said, I love this match. I just love the story they told. It wasn't about, you know, finisher counters. It was just wrestling, just pure wrestling. And Luke Harper is a damn star. And I hope the WWE realizes it. And he looked incredible even in defeat. And maybe, just maybe, we'll talk about it at the end, he could possibly have a match set up in the future. Because that's a match I want to see, too. Remind me, just remind me. Don't worry. Just remind me in the end to talk about that. After that, we had Nikki Bella being interviewed by Renee Young, and Renee was pretty much just asking her, "Is this over now with her and Natalya?" And Nikki was like, "No, it's far from over, and you know this is going on for too long." And Natalya this and Natalya that, and before she could really get her point out, Natalya attacked her from behind, and they go at it once again. Had to be separated, and you know, I think they even fought over by the makeup area. And if you really noticed, I don't think most people didn't catch it. I think a few people caught it on Twitter. I didn't really see. Maurice was there, and it got to a point where powder was spilled onto her dress, which means that I think they're doing the Nikki Bella and John Cena versus The Miz and Maurice match. Because Maurice didn't accompany The Miz to the ring for the Elimination Chamber match like she normally does. Her dress was ruined, and she was just like, "Yo, what the hell? What are y'all doing? Why'd y'all have to ruin my clothes? Because y'all want to fight." So, you know, I'm thinking that's probably part of the reason that's going to lead up to them fighting at Mania, whatever, that tag team match, which I really don't care about. To be completely honest, I really don't care about it. Maybe they can make it interesting because of SmackDown. I'll give it a chance, only because it's SmackDown, but we'll see where they go from there. But obviously Nikki Bella and Natalya aren't finished destroying each other. So that was pretty much how that went. Next we had the WWE Smackdown Women's Championship match. Naomi and Alexa Bliss going to battle. This was Naomi's first championship match in the WWE. She didn't receive a Divas Championship match or nothing. She didn't receive a Raw Women's Championship match. None of that. Nope. She didn't get not one championship opportunity, and this was her first match. I wouldn't call it that much of a rivalry, though, because, you know, Alexa's just pretty much been no-selling Naomi's existence ever since, you know, she's been trying to challenge her for the title. They had a little contract signing. She was like, "Oh, Naomi, I forgot you were here. Yeah, sure, I'm just going to beat you. Whatever." And, you know, Naomi was pretty much trying to tell her, "Hey, don't sleep on me. I got 2 pinfalls over you. So don't think that I'm not a threat toward you." So, that was the story here. Alexa started to get serious when she realized that Naomi came out to actually fight. She had the advantage early on. Naomi was fighting through it. I don't think this match went that long either. I don't think it might have went 10 minutes, maybe that. Not sure. Didn't go too long. But yeah, Naomi was fighting through Alexa's offense. She landed a kick to the side of her head, the same one she did during the contract signing. Gained some momentum from there. They were getting some near falls. She hit the blockbuster in the rear view, which the rear view used to be her finisher, but now it's just, you know, one of her moves. It doesn't really end matches. Alexa was able to kick out of that. Then Alexa prevented her from doing the split-legged moonsault that she likes to do to end matches now. That's her new finisher. Alexa went to set up for the Sparkle Splash. Naomi kicked her off of the top rope. And went for an outside dive, which Alexa stopped and hit that snap DDT that Heath Slater uses, the same one, I guess. Naomi kicked out of that, which usually probably would have ended the match as well. Then Alexa went to set up for another Sparkle Splash. It was countered by Naomi, who had her knees up when Alexa went off the top rope. And then she hit the dang split-legged moonsault and picked up the win. We, yes, have a new SmackDown Women's Champion, and her name is Naomi. Naomi's first championship opportunity, she wins the dang title. Takes it off of Alexa Bliss, who didn't take her too seriously, even though she had 2 pinfalls over Alexa. Didn't take her too seriously, and Naomi caught her. And we have a new SmackDown Women's Champion. I'm so happy for Naomi, who has just done everything that she needed to do in the WWE. Done everything. Literally anything they needed her to do. From Brodus Clay and her and Cameron and Team Bad and all this other stupid stuff that they've been having her do over the years. She finally got her opportunity. I remember her match got cut at WrestleMania 30 a few years ago. I remember that. And now she gets to walk into WrestleMania, barring anything happening on SmackDown, as the Women's Champion, into her hometown. WrestleMania is going to be in Florida this year. She's from Florida, so that's going to be a great experience for her. She was tearing up. The crowd was chanting, "You deserve it." And man, if anybody did deserve it, it definitely is her. I know everybody, works their ass off. I know everybody pays their dues, but her specifically just has been treated so terribly by WWE for like the past years that she's been in I don't even know how long she's been there. She's been there for a good while though. I think it's upwards of like 5 years she's been there. So like I said, she's done everything the company has asked her to do. She's literally done it all, and she's finally a champion, and I'm so happy for her. Even though Alexa Bliss had a nice run as champion, but they're probably going to just have their rivalry. Alexa's going to get serious with her because she took her title from her. She didn't expect it to happen, and it happened. So, yeah, I definitely popped for that. Everybody on Twitter went crazy, and, it was just a great thing. New SmackDown Women's Champion. Congratulations to Naomi. Now let's talk about this main event. Yep, let's talk about it. I wrote like an essay of notes on this dang match. John Cena versus Baron Corbin versus AJ Styles versus The Miz versus Dean Ambrose versus Bray Wyatt in the Elimination Chamber match for the WWE Championship. Of course, they had to start it off with John Cena and AJ Styles being the first 2 in the match. Of course, Cena picking up right where he left off at the Royal Rumble against AJ. Very aggressive side, and pretty much was trying to eliminate him, from the get-go. He said, on Talking Smack that AJ is his biggest threat to take his title away from him. I think Cena made a mistake saying that, and we all know why. So, Cena hit a nice little sunset flip powerbomb that he's pretty much perfected. AJ hit that modified AA. I don't know what the move is called. He does the AA, but the guy flips and he hits his knee on the back of their neck or something like that, or right above their back or something like that. I don't really know what it's called. They said it, but it's just some Japanese word that I really don't know how to pronounce. Dean Ambrose was the first person to get into the match from the pods. That's when he started causing his carnage or whatever. Immediately went after Cena, started throwing him into the cage of the chamber, and went after AJ as well. Then he hopped onto the pod that he came out of, hit a flying elbow onto Cena. Then after that, AJ dragged Dean into the ring. They both started fighting each other. Cena was able to get up, and he suplexed both of them. He did a super suplex for Super Cena. And I put that on Twitter as well. They were pretty much laid out, pretty much just waiting for the next person to enter the match, and that would be Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt would be the next person to enter the Elimination Chamber. And of course, he went after Dean Ambrose first, just tossing him around the ring and pretty much tossing him into the cage or whatever, just fucking shit up. AJ went for a springboard to the outside of the ring, but Bray grabbed him, tossed him into the chamber. They started fighting a little bit after that. There were a few unique spots that you can only see in the Elimination Chamber, because if they did these matches in a normal match, they would fuck each other up every time. I think AJ had Bray on the top rope and ran and stomped him off of it or something. He was laid across the top rope and flipped it to the outside of the ring. Oh, the Elimination Chamber. Let me talk about the chamber for a second. Like the actual chamber. It looked pretty cool. Now, the outside is padded, and they tried to hide that a little bit, but there was no hiding it. It was pretty obvious it was padded. It's not as devastating as it used to be, because that thing just used to be all steel and, you know, pretty much whatever. But of course, they've toned it down, but it looks nice. It did look nice. It did look pretty good. I did appreciate that. But yeah, back to the match. AJ started climbing up the chamber wall. Cena followed him. They were fighting for a little bit. Cena fell off. Fell pretty hard off of it. AJ got to one of the pods that I think had the Miz in it or whatever. Dean followed him up there. He climbed on the other side. And then he started banging his head against a little plexiglass wall that was above the chamber. Instead of it being all chain, like right above the pods, it would be like a plexiglass wall. So yeah, he started banging his head against that. So AJ was out for a little bit. And then that's when I think Bray dragged Dean from off of the top of the pod while he was fighting AJ. So AJ just laid there, and Bray went to work on Dean a little bit. You know, just they were fighting for a little bit. And I think Dean was sitting on the top rope, and AJ climbed back down or something. No. Dean was on the bottom part, on, you know, in the turnbuckle corner, and Bray was, you know, on top of the second rope just punching him. And then as AJ, you know, started walking, you know, on top of the top rope, Bray grabbed him. He grabbed him by his chest and whatever, and Dean went to powerbomb Bray, and as he powerbombed him, Bray flipped AJ over his head, and AJ went flying. I'm just like, dang, that looked devastating. I haven't seen that type of superplex, or if I have, it's just been a while since I've seen it. It was a pretty cool spot to see. Corbin was the next one to enter the match, and then he went after Dean Ambrose. Started banging him into the chamber walls and was brutalizing him, starting beating up everybody else as well. He pulled off the end of days on AJ Styles. Cena put him into the STF, and he fought out of that and hit Cena with the end of days as well. Nobody was covered after this as well. I just want to point that out. Nobody was covered. Corbin was just celebrating the fact that he did that. Dean went after him and tried to get him with the dirty deeds, but he was thrown to the other side or whatever, and everybody was pretty much laid out. And then the Miz's pod finally opens. He was the last one to enter the match, and he just stood there. Corbin looked at him like, you see what happened, let's go, get your ass out here and don't make me come get you. And Miz was just like, oh, I really don't want to do this, but I guess I gotta do it. So he started gingerly walking out of the pod, and then, bam, Dean Ambrose rolls up Baron Corbin and gets the pinfall. And he was the first one eliminated. Corbin was like, oh, hell no. I know I did not just get caught with a roll-up pin. And then he just started to go after Dean Ambrose and was just attacking him. The referees were trying to get Corbin out of the Elimination Chamber. He wasn't having it. He had to go after Dean Ambrose. He started throwing him to the outside and was just clubbing him. He threw him into a pod. Threw it. He literally threw him through one of the pods. Absolutely destroying it. Then he held his head, against the chamber and just was clubbing him with forearms. The referee's trying to pull him off of him. He's like, get the hell off of me. Threw Dean back into the ring and hit him with the end of days and left him laid out. That was it. Anybody could just pin Dean and he'd be gone. And that's when Corbin finally left. Miz, still in his pod, watched, waited for them to close the door after Corbin got out of there, and then immediately a switch just flipped in his mind or whatever. And he hustled his ass into the ring and pinned Dean Ambrose. So Dean Ambrose was the second one to get eliminated because he was incapacitated. He took the end of days. He went through a pod. He got his head bashed in onto the steel chamber walls or whatever. It was all over for him. So yeah, the Miz felt like he accomplished something and was just happy. He started doing the Daniel Bryan yes chant, and just so coincidentally had Cena and Bray Wyatt there so he could hit him with the knee strike that Daniel Bryan used to do. And then he went after AJ. The Miz's confidence just started to skyrocket after that. He was mixing in his moves with Daniel's as he always does. Then he went to the top rope and was snatched down by Bray Wyatt. but he hit him with a skull crushing finale on the outside. Then went back to the top rope once again to jump to John Cena, which was not a good idea. Cena caught him, fell, rolled him up. AA, bye Miz. Thanks for coming. That was it. The Miz is the third person to get eliminated. So now we're down to John Cena, Bray Wyatt, and AJ Styles. We have the Miz, Baron Corbin, and Dean. They're gone. No more. You guys ain't winning the title. Thanks for coming. We'll see you later. We have these three guys left. And at this point, I'm just like, Cena's not winning this. He's not. And Bray Wyatt and AJ started to team up on him a little bit. Tried to work together. And AJ was just so happy. Bray held up Cena, for AJ to hit him. And then, Cena fell. And then AJ was like, yeah, I got somebody working against me. We're going to beat up John Cena. And then Bray Wyatt immediately turned on him, slapped him in the face, and was like, no, we not teaming up. I was just playing you. And, they started fighting and whatever. John Cena got up, did his little comeback, which led to a double 5-knuckle shuffle. He hit the AA on Bray Wyatt and was going for one on AJ Styles, but AJ Styles countered and hit the Styles Clash. And I thought Cena was going after that, but he only got the 2 count on Cena. So AJ, trying to finish him off, goes for the phenomenal forearm, but he catches an AA from John Cena, also kicks out at 2. So I'm just like, okay, all right, who's going to eliminate who here? Who's going to eliminate who? Because I know Cena's not winning. I just had this feeling. I didn't look at the dirt sheets this time. Normally I do, but I didn't look at them. I didn't know who. I thought AJ was going to win the title, to be honest. I thought it was going to be AJ or The Miz. I don't know why I thought The Miz, and I didn't do a predictions video because I kind of forgot. These pay-per-views are running too close together, and I forgot to do a predictions video. But anyway, Cena, I think all 3 guys were laid out or whatever. No, Cena went for a double crossbody. That's when they were all laid out. Cena goes up and tries to hit an AA on Bray Wyatt, but Bray Wyatt counters it and hits a Sister Abigail on Cena. And Cena was gone. That was it. Cena is eliminated. He wasn't the final 2 people in the match. Cena was eliminated. So then I immediately knew that, and everybody else knew, of course, because it was obvious, Cena is no longer the WWE Champion. Cena is eliminated from the match, and we have 2 people left. Bray Wyatt and AJ Styles. The final 2. Bray went on the offense, started pummeling AJ, but AJ still fought, tried to hit a roll-up pin on Bray Wyatt, who fought back, hit an incredible clothesline on him for a 2 count. They get up, AJ hits a Pele kick, then the Shining Wizard goes outside the ring, hits a springboard 450 splash, 2 count. And I was like, dang, AJ, you're going to have to do something if you want to put him away. This match could have went either way. Then AJ took off his arm sleeve, went for the phenomenal forearm, but was caught and got hit with the damn Sister Abigail. And Bray Wyatt picks up the win and becomes your new WWE Champion. We have a brand new WWE Champion, and his name is Bray freaking Wyatt. He wins his first WWE Championship in the WWE and will go on to face Randy Orton, once again, barring anything happening on SmackDown, at WrestleMania. And as Bray is celebrating his title win, the crowd went crazy. Good pop for him, for considering how dead the crowd was all night. They sure enough did pop for Bray Wyatt winning. Great pop, well deserved. I'm happy that he's, the WWE Champion. Is somebody different for once. Even though I love John Cena, I'm still a number 1 Cena fan, but just the fact that we got somebody different as WWE Champion is exciting. Hopefully they can build up this Randy Orton and Bray match, perfectly. Hopefully they can build it up good, make it interesting. It's already kind of interesting, but, just continue to make it interesting so we can, be hyped going into WrestleMania, especially if this is the main event. Especially if it's the main event. So, I'm excited for that. I'm excited Bray Wyatt's the champion. I'm excited Naomi won the Women's Championship. Overall, this pay-per-view, I'm going to give it a B+. Not an A show. I'm sorry. It's not. I can't give it an A show. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't flawless. But it was a damn good show. Dare I say I enjoyed this better than the Royal Rumble. I might have. I don't know. It's kind of hard because Cena and AJ kind of stole the show for that. But, you know, we got some good wrestling. And, you know, all 3 women's matches did not disappoint, except for the ending to the Nikki Bella and Natalya match. That was a little bit disappointing. But other than that, we had a great pay-per-view. Let me know what you guys thought of Elimination Chamber down in the comment section down below. How you guys feel about Naomi being women's champion. How you guys feel about Bray Wyatt being the new WWE champion. Where he goes from here. Will John Cena want his rematch before Mania? Will he want it at Mania? AJ Styles is still owed a one-on-one rematch as well. SmackDown is just getting crazy. Is Alexa Bliss gonna, you know, get her rematch before WrestleMania? Or, you know, what are they gonna do there? Who knows? I'm not sure. I'm just so excited with how SmackDown's going and how it's gonna go and how WrestleMania is looking up, at least from their side of the spectrum. And, you know, we'll just see how they're going to build up heading towards WrestleMania. This is their last pay-per-view, so, you know, they have a few weeks. They might even have a full month before WrestleMania happens, so they got time to build up some stuff, build up some people, build up storylines heading into Mania. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see what they're going to do. Like I said, I'll give the show a B+. I enjoyed it for what it was. SmackDown never disappoints with their pay-per-views. Raw, you got your work cut out for you for Fastlane. You really do. You really got your work cut out for you. So I just want to thank you guys for watching my review. Sorry I didn't do a predictions video. Like I said, I kind of forgot Elimination Chamber was today. Kind of slipped my mind a little bit because Royal Rumble was just 2 weeks ago. But thank you guys for watching. Slap a like on the video if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new. Follow me on Twitter at GinaMan94. That's DA instead of the. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow for my Raw review, unless it's trash. Thank you guys. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.